everybody, what's going on? It's Big Boy 1 Gaming here. Welcome back to episode number 24 of our Zero Overall franchise. Today, unfortunately, we do have some bad news. I played all the games, I recorded them, and as you can see pretty much on screen that they looked very, very weird. I don't know why, but half the time it would either be very grainy or the color just kind of disappears and it just goes to black and white. So, pretty much it corrupted the file, unfortunately, but we did win most of the games, so I'll kind of go over the stats and everything of each game, and kind of give an overview of what happened. So if we go to team schedule, obviously, first game here against the Bengals, it actually went into overtime. This was a great game. I wish I had it, not super bad, so I could actually show this game, because this game was amazing. They passed for over 446 yards. I mean, Joe Burrow had a game. He had 5 passing touchdowns. He did throw 2 interceptions. Had 446 yards. Anthony Richardson, 309 yards, 4 touchdowns. Got sacked 3 times. But he didn't sack Burrow once. But great game all the way around. I mean, Tavares Corbett came in, 21 carries, 134 yards, and a touchdown. Anthony Richardson ran for 75, and I believe that was it for rushing-wise for us. Receiving-wise, we'll just look at us. Damon Good, 7 catches, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brock Bowers, 5 for 97 and a touchdown. And, of course, Rashawn Miller, 1 catch for 72 yards and a touchdown. Corbett and Pollard kind of had a couple of catches there, but nothing else to really do or help about in there. But Mitch Stokes, 10 tackles, led the team. We only had a couple of tackles for loss. Wise had 2. Dean, Samuel, and Branch had 1. No sacks whatsoever again, but Nakobe Dean and George Brooks both had interceptions. And we did not get any fumbles or any touchdowns for the defense. Kicker Ben Agnew was perfect on the day. Punting, we only punt once. And we did have a kickoff return for a touchdown. Hopefully I'd save that one at least. I did have a couple of them that I tried to save a little bit. And I think I got them, but I'm not sure. It will show up on screen if I did. But I'm just hoping that it got there. But so next one was against the Bills. Anthony Richardson, 142.3 passer rating, 438 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Got sacked 3 times. That's the Bills. Tavares Corbett, 14 for 70, 1 touchdown. Anthony Richardson, 2 for 12, and Cameron Booker, 1 for 3. Receiving-wise, Damon Gooden, 7 for 163 and a touchdown. Josh Foster, 5 for 122 and a touchdown. And Brock Bowers, 5 for 100. So we had 3 100-yard receivers in this game. Tavares Corbett, 2 for 25 and a touchdown, and Trevor Beckham, 1 for 2 and a touchdown. So we had a really good game receiving the ball. 3 people led the team with tackles with 7. We did not get a sack, but we had 3 interceptions, 2 by Grant Delbert and 1 by Spencer Riddick for the defense. I don't remember us getting a safety or a touchdown or even a fumble recovery or any kick return or a punt return or anything like that. The third game was against the Cleveland Browns. We kind of destroyed in this matchup. There wasn't really too much to show for the Browns side. We did get 4 interceptions, though, on Rob Stanley. But Anthony Richardson, 3 touchdowns, 214 yards, 1 pick, 1 sack. Rushing-wise, 23 carries, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Richardson, 6 for 39, and Cameron Booker, 1 for 6 on the ground. Josh Foster led the team with 6 catches, 75 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Damon Gooden, 5 for 49. Sean Miller, 2 for 47. Corbett, 2 for 24. Then Brock Bowers, 1 for 19 and a touchdown. Looking at the defense, Steve Henson led the team with tackles at 6. We did have 1 sack with Mitch Stokes and 4 picks, of course. Nakobe Dean had 2, Stokes, and then Henson had 1 as well. We did not get a touchdown, but we did not get any fumble recoveries either. Kicking-wise, he was perfect. We did have 1 punt. And then nothing really else to rat home about there. And the second to last game was against the Raiders. This one was another close game. We won in the 4th quarter. I mean, it was a pretty even game. I mean, it was even throughout 3 quarters. We kind of struggled, though. We actually had Anthony Richardson go down with an injury in the first half. That's why we didn't score too many points. But Anthony Richardson came back in the second half. Completed 6 of 9, 103 yards and a touchdown. Antoine Randolph came in 5 for 9 and 41 yards. I think Anthony Richardson got hurt on the second play of the game. And Tavares Corbett, as soon as Anthony Richardson came back, he ran for 50 yards. It was a 51-yard touchdown run. That was most of his yards. Richardson rushed for 6 for 33. Randolph ran 2 for 12, and Booker 2 for 6. Receiving wise, I mean, not really else to round about. Gooden led the team in yards with 45 and a touchdown. Brock Bowers 443 and Corbett 4 for 29. Rashawn Miller 1 for 27. Defensive wise, though, Delpit and Wise led the team with 8 tackles. Had 4 for a loss. Wise, Dean, Craig, and Lindley, the guy we picked up in free agency last year, and then he also got a sack. I mean, the one pick came from Nakobe Dean. I think that was a clutch one, too. We did force a fumble, and Chris Amaro got it, but again, no touchdowns and no safeties. Kicking was perfect, just like always. 2 punts on the day, and then John Ferguson got 3 returns, and we did have a punt return for a touchdown. I did forget that. That was in the second half, in the first half, as soon as Anthony Richardson went down. Hopefully I saved that one too. If it will be on here at this moment. Yeah, I do apologize for not getting those. And of course, we only played these once, so it does kind of suck, but. Last game of the season was against the Titans. Anthony Richardson did throw for 13 of 15, got sacked once, but 2 touchdowns, 136 yards. We didn't really throw the football much because our running game was insane. 17 for 110 with a touchdown, 5 for 74 for Richardson. Corbett also led the team in catches with 5 for 51. Brock Bowers 4 for 38 and a touchdown. Damon Gooden 1 for 28 and a touchdown. Foster 2 for 14 and Pollard 1 for 5. Defense, Stokes and Dean both had 8 tackles. We had a bunch of tackles for a loss. 3 from Dean, 1 from Wise, Samuel, Saturday, Rowland, and Lindley. I keep calling him Lindsey for some reason. 2 sacks, Samuel, and then Saturday and Rowland. We didn't have 2 picks. Mumphrey and Riddick both had it. We actually did have a deflection, and we did force a fumble, and we did recover that fumble for a touchdown. So, again, I'll hopefully save that one. If it is, it will be on here as well. Kicking-wise, it was perfect. We did have 1 punt, or 2 punts. We actually went inside the 20. Nothing really happened on the kick returns or the punt returns. So, yeah, that's the season. We actually went 15-2 on the full season. Ended up getting the number 1 seed. And then we'll also go over the stats and everything here. The full season. Also get everyone that we had as well. Anthony Richardson, 4,600 passing yards, 45 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. Rushing-wise, 1,400 yards for Travis Corbett with 18 rushing touchdowns. Richardson had added 642 on the ground with 6 touchdowns. Booker, 431 and 5 touchdowns. Delonte Slay ran for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Damon Gooden had over 1,000 yards, the only 1,000-yard receiver. Rashawn Miller was close. He only had 28 receiving yards, which is kind of receptions, which is kind of weird that Rashawn Miller didn't get too many receptions. But Brock Bowers, if he did, he got 12 touchdowns. Almost half of his receptions were touchdowns. Brock Bowers, 59 for 900 yards. He came close to 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. And then kind of 500 yards from Foster with 5 touchdowns. Corbett also had 424 through the air and 2 touchdowns. Brackett got 2 touchdowns, and Pollard also had a touchdown as well. Defensive-wise, Stokes had 101 tackles, led the team. Monty Wise and Nakobe Dean almost tied for tackles for a loss. But Monk led the team in sacks. George Brooks led the team in interceptions with 10. Steve Henson was close with 7. Brooks and Dean, Mumphrey and Riddick led the team with deflections. Nakobe Dean led the team in forced fumbles. And then we have a bunch of fumble recoveries. But, of course, George Brooks had the 1 touchdown. And then we had the 2 touchdowns from Steve Henson, and George Brooks also had 1 touchdown as well. Kicking-wise, we only missed 1 field goal, and that was from 50 yards, I believe, over 50. Punts, I mean, we had 7 inside the 20. We had 1 touchback. Kick returns, we had that 1 touchdown, and then 2 punt return touchdowns for that. If we look at the whole NFL here, I mean, kind of see where we ended up. Anthony Richardson was 2nd in passing yards, only missed by 27 passing yards. But he did lead the league in passing touchdowns with 45. Rushing-wise, Bijan Robinson had an insane year. Over almost 2,000 yards. Kenneth Walker, Josh Jacobs had over by Corbett. But Corbett did tie the league in touchdowns with 18. Receiving-wise, CeeDee Lamb led the league with 1,700 yards. We were right here. Probably a good, 15th or so, give or take. there. But touchdowns, Debo led the league in touchdowns. Damon Good was right here with 13, right under Jamar Chase and Rashee Rice. Blocking-wise, we don't really look at blocking, though. Defense, Fred Warner led the league with tackles, 145. Chase Young led the league with 30 tackles for a loss. And Micah Parsons had 25.5 sacks. George Book led the league in interceptions. This should be also, I don't know why it's not showing all the corners, but it doesn't for some reason. I don't know why. It just is what it is. It doesn't even show like all the defenses because we should have a 2 touchdown here. So we should, there's a bunch of safeties this year, which is actually kind of weird. But and then we, of course, don't look at kicking. But we will look at everyone else here. I know we have J.J. McCarthy on the Texans. I've already showed you it will already be on the team, which we already had one guy on the team anyways. The Texans, J.J. McCarthy only threw 2 passes. He completed 1 for 3 yards, so nothing really to write home about there on the Texans. Now we have to go to the Commanders, who are all the way up here, and Marshall M. did not get any playing time. He threw 1 pass, and it was incomplete. He was behind Jared and Desmond Ritter. He went over to the Commanders in free agency for that. So, unfortunately, he didn't get anything. And then I believe the next one is the Giants, who are down under here. I can't do, math. And look at blocking-wise. And, of course, we have our guy, Katzma, giving up 4 sacks in 16 games. Not too bad. He didn't play like 1,000 downs like this. How are these guys playing 1,000 downs? That's insane. He played 371, so he did get some playing time, but did allow a couple sacks. And, of course, we have one more guy of Ace Peak. 2 completions out of 3 attempts for 18 yards. So, again, you guys aren't getting too much playing time over like Justin Fields, even though he's a bridge quarterback. So hopefully next year you guys will get some playing time in your respect. Although the Texans one will be kind of hard because they have C.J. Stroud, who I believe is an X Factor. He's a star. He's 27. He's also a 94 overall. So that one's going to kind of be hard. I don't know why they drafted J.J. McCarthy, because he is a 81 overall normal now. So I don't know why they drafted him. But anyways, that's beside the point. But yeah. So again, do apologize for kind of this weird video-wise, I guess. Next one hopefully will be better, and we'll actually have no problems to it because it will be the games, which will be the divisional round since we were the 1 seed. So we either get the Raiders, Bills, Dolphins, or the Bengals. Actually, I don't think we'll face the Bengals. Bengals, I don't think we're going to be facing. But yeah, those are kind of the 4 matchups we might get. I don't know. Of course, I haven't simulated yet, so we'll kind of see from there. But yeah, so again, do apologize. Hopefully we can get that stuff fixed up and ready to go for next week on Thursday. So, yep, that's going to do it for me. Hope everyone enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.